Today on the Transplant Helper, we're going to be talking about your body mass index, aka BMI. If you're not exactly familiar with what that is, this is the perfect program for you. We're going to be talking about how it's calculated, how you can understand it, comprehend it, and what to do if your transplant team tells you that yours is too high and it needs to come down.
Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Okay, now honestly, when it concerns BMI, that is one of those things that put a little bit of fear in me back about 7 years ago. And that is basically because back then, 7 or so years ago, my transplant center, UAB Hospital, Birmingham, Alabama, simply in black and white on paper told me that if my BMI got above 25, I would not be a candidate for transplant. Now, that was problematic and even scary. It really put the fear of God in me because I was hovering for all that period of time. The whole time I was waiting and being listed and evaluated, I was hovering at the 24 mark. So I was 1 point from being not listed or listed right there within that. And I know that can be extremely difficult because you know as well as I do that when you're waiting for transplant, it's obvious there's a failure there. There's an organ like your heart, your lung, liver, kidney, whatever, that is keeping your body from living to its fullest. You're not able to exercise. You're not able to do the things that maybe you even desire or even have to do in order to stay healthy for transplant. So because of that, the BMI or body mass index can be problematic for us. Now, I'm not saying that your transplant center has a hard and fast rule like mine did concerning that 25 mark. I don't know what your transplant center would be. So, go ahead and comment below the video. Tell me what they say about that. What's the number they're looking for? And I'm certainly not sure that they're going to have the rule that is set in stone that cannot be broken. Surely our transplant centers know us best. Surely they're going to be lenient a little bit here or there. But nonetheless, I still see a number of cases over and over again where people, they have a higher BMI and they refuse transplant, or at least told by their transplant physicians, you're not going to be listed until we bring this weight down, until we bring that level into check. Now, as far as the BMI scale goes, basically it scales out like this. If you're below 18.5, you're considered to be underweight. Okay, so 18.5 and down is considered underweight. From 18.6 to 24.9 is considered completely normal range. Again, that's why they want to be in that range. They want to be normal leading into transplant. From 25 to 29.9 is considered to be overweight, and then from 30 and up is considered to be obese. Okay, and I didn't want to be in the two top tiers of that category because I wanted to go on the transplant as healthy as possible. I certainly wanted my transplant team to see me as such. Okay, so constantly I was double checking and checking my weight, trying to be sure that I was staying in range, trying to eat as healthy as I could because exercise was not always the best option, just trying to stay healthy. But still again, a little bit of fear, apprehensiveness came in every time I stepped on the scale in the transplant center. Now, with that being said, is that the best measurement for your overall health? I would have to say no. The BMI system, in most cases, you can search all over YouTube and the internet and find this as well. The BMI system is not exactly accurate. It basically takes your weight and your height, does a pretty simple mathematical calculation, whatever, to discover that number, and it's not always accurate. For example, I have a family member who happens to be a Marine. He's like a 20-year Marine. He's tall, he's thick. I mean, he's powerful, he's muscular. If you do his BMI right now, he's probably going to fall in that 28, 29% range. Hence, therefore, according to that number, that hard and fast rule, he maybe considered overweight or even obese to an extent. But, that's not true about him. He's much more healthy than myself or anybody in our family or anybody I know for that matter, so that number's not that accurate. Now, if you want to know about your health, however, you can oftentimes just simply check your waistline, okay? You may have a guy, for example, he weighs 180 pounds, he's 6 foot tall. It looks like he's right there in range, he's right at normal, but then if you look at him and he's got this big belly that sticks out, not an ounce of fat anywhere else, but a big belly that sticks out, then he's in trouble, okay? Anything as far as waistline goes, and by the way, you don't measure measure this where you keep your pants or where you keep your belt. That's never accurate. You measure this halfway between your belt line or the top of your hips and your bottom rib. That generally for most people comes out around belly button level, okay? So you put a measure around you, a tape, put it around you, measure right around the circumference of your belly, where your belly button is, and if you come up with more than 37, if you're a man, you're considered overweight. If you come up with more than 40 as a man, you're considered obese, okay? So you got to keep it below that 37 mark. That's accurate as far as health goes. And there's plenty of things that are associated with that larger belly, that waistline, that belly fat. It can be very dangerous as far as heart attacks, strokes, high blood pressure. It's just an indicator that there are many, many problems that could be occurring or maybe are to come. So for men, below 37 and below 40, that's your safest best bet. Now for women, it's slightly different. For women, if your waistline at that belly button range again is over 30, you're considered overweight. If it's over 34, you're considered obese, okay? Women just have different shapes. I don't understand that, but over 30 and over 34, overweight and obese. So what do women need to do? Keep that waistline measurement below 30, and that's going to indicate or be an indicator of their overall health. Now again, whether it concerns your waistline measurement, your BMI measurement, which you can calculate, you pick up your phone or go online there, punch in BMI calculator, you can figure it out. Mine right now happens to be 24.8, okay, so I'd still be in range if I was being listed for transplant, according to that anyway. But go online, calculate that out. But whether it's concerning the BMI or the calculation of the waistline, just really use caution with that. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't go into a panic or a tizzy, because either one of those numbers can have some inaccuracies. Therefore, either one of those numbers can cause a little bit too much panic or a little bit too much security if they're not done properly and if they're not measured, I should say, over a period of time. So because you wake up one morning a little swollen because of what you ate yesterday, not a big indicator there. Measure that over a period of time. Have your physician help you out with that. Now, again, I know a number of you who are watching this program clicked on it because your BMI is higher. Maybe you're over that 25 or 30 threshold, and you're needing to be listed for that life-giving transplant. What do you do about it? Well, obviously, diet and exercise will be your first bet. However, that's not always possible. And especially, again, when you're sick, when you don't feel well, when you're not able to get up and go. As I say, sometimes your get up and go is got up and went. Maybe you're not able to do that. Well, I want to suggest to you today a great brand new resource, for you as a transplant patient when it concerns being overweight or having a higher BMI and needing some help. And it's basically a brand new YouTube channel that's just come out. It's called Extra Life 359. Extra Life 359. My friend LJ over there is a transplant patient himself. He was actually transplanted at 14 years old, as his story goes. Shortly after transplant, because he kind of got in some bad habits going into it, he gained a ton of weight, got extremely overweight, got into the obese category for sure, and his health began to deteriorate. So he's had the gift of life. He got the wonderful heart transplant that he needed, but then his life basically took a turn for the worse because he was not able to control his diet, his exercise. Really, he didn't have a whole lot of concern about it, but he decided to get healthy. He decided to do things right, and he's sharing his entire story over on Extra Life 359. And I promise you, I've watched all of his videos that have come out so far, and they're absolutely great. He's going to carry you through his journey, not only as a transplant patient, but in his journey at losing more than 180 pounds, okay? Doing this because he wanted to be healthy. He wanted to be there for his family. He wanted to be there to be the man that he desired to be. So going over to Extra Life 359, check out LJ, everything that he's going to be bringing up. I promise you, if you're a person who is dealing with weight issues, dealing with issues with your BMI and being listed or even trying to live after, he's going to be putting out some great resources to help you out. So I'm going to put his channel here in just a moment. I'm going to pop up some of his videos over here on the screen beside me, as well as put a little round button beneath me for my channel to subscribe, as well as his, because you're going to want to check his channel out. Again, highly suggest that you check it out. Hope that you're doing great. Until next time, please stay stronger, friends.